Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Booze and Brews.
Booze and Brews.
Here we go. All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, well, the first thing we like to do is talk about our mugs. By the way, I did tell Len I was going to put water in my mug, even though, it's supposed to be coffee, because I've already had exponential amount of coffee this morning. And then I felt some way about saying we were drinking coffee and drinking water. Anyway, so now there's more coffee in the mug, and I look super sleepy, even though I've had a lot of coffee. I don't think it'll have an effect at like 2 this morning when I want to be asleep, and then I'm like, why can't I sleep? And then I'll recall that I've had like 18 cups of coffee.
I've not had that many. Shocking.
It is shocking.
It is shocking. All right, talk about your mug.
All right, so here's my mug. Notice I got a small one since I've had it 18 cups of coffee. It's probably hard to see, but all right, this is my dog, Breaker. So I had this, made this little mug. And I picked this picture for a lot of reasons, but we were hiking the Appalachian Trail. Lynn and I and Breaker have done like 120 some miles, I think, on the trail, up and down the East Coast, different states. This is in Georgia in Hog Pen Gap. And this is like the last, I think, like 3/10 of the hike that we had done.
That was a rough.
It was like a 4-day, wasn't it like a 4-day hike?
This one, yeah. We did, yeah.
It was like 3 to 4 day hike. We did like 20 or 30 miles.
Well, this particular hike, this was our second main overnight hike. Our first one we did was 3.5 to 4 days, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. And that was all camping out in between. Our second one in Georgia, we were supposed to start at Springer Mountain, and we had car issues.
Yeah, the truck broke down on the way to the start point.
So if it was just us hiking, it would have been fine, but we were meeting people, so
yeah. And we had a deadline on when we needed to be done.
Yes, so lots of things. So we couldn't start at the beginning, so we had to start about
10 miles in. At Cooper Gap, we ended up starting. So, I don't know how, I can't remember what I did yesterday, but I can remember
the names of it.
I remember the gaps in the Appalachian Trail. So we went in 10 miles and started, so we went to the top of Springer, realized we didn't have any brake lines in the truck, which, that's bad. So then we kind of coasted roller coastery down Springer Mountain. So we saw the beginning, then we were like, we're gonna need to get this truck fixed. Went to a repair shop. That was quite an adventure that we had, honestly. And it ended up starting, when the truck was fixed the next day, 10 miles in, so because we missed that 10-mile hike on that day. But we still finished at Hog Pen as planned. But I always like this mug and this particular view because I feel like Breaker's a really good hiker, and he is actually much better off leash than he is on, and I know you guys will give me flack for that. In any case, he kind of darted up here, and he liked to look at the views, and I always, he is cautious enough to not go to the edge, although, I'm still like, Breaker, what are you doing? But it really got me because I feel like he took time to look at the vistas. Like, he got up there and he would go and he would kind of stop and take it in. And I'm like, that's really cool because I don't know, obviously, if he remembers doing them, if he remembers what the views look like. But I got this picture of him checking out the top of Hog Pen. And from here, we went down the mountain and we had finished that 26 point something hike or whatever it was. It was a very long hike. We were pretty darn tired. But yeah, this commemorates our journey on the Appalachian Trail in Georgia. And then yours is also a monumental
It was. This
achievement.
one, this side is me. I don't know if you could see it. I'm holding a medal from the half marathon in Wildwood. And then this side just says, she believed she could, so she did. So, this one was a really, that run was something. We had done the Disney half and full marathon in 2011. And when we finished the fall, we had decided we were going to do the half so we could get the Coast to Coast Challenge. I think we maybe have talked about that before, which we did. We got all of our medals. We got the Coast to Coast. It
always
was
talked into these things.
Yeah, that was definitely because when we're going to run the Disney marathon,
they told me it was a good idea, and
it was a great idea.
Yeah, I did it.
I mean,
so.
I'd probably die now, but
now, sure.
Anyhow,
anyway,
we did that.
When I was in shape and ran all the time, it was great.
So we did that, and then a couple years later, we decided we were going to do the Wildwood Half Marathon. And my goal was to finish the half marathon in under 3 hours, because when we did that half marathon in California, because they didn't have a full marathon there, because we probably would have tried to do that because, I couldn't do it all. I was 3 hours and 3 minutes. And someone said to me that, if you had just run like 10 seconds faster, like a minute, you could have, a mile, you would have been under 3 hours. And I was like, oh, damn. Like, first of all, thanks for the support. But
thanks for the challenge.
But you're right. I could have, if I would have just done 10 seconds faster. I was like, oh, so this one, I was determined to be under 3 hours. 2 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds would have been like achieving the goal. Run the half marathon. I keep saying marathon, but run the half marathon. Check out my time, and I crushed it. And I was so excited because, for several reasons, obviously, I met my goal. I was 2 hours and 36 minutes. So I had not only met my goal, I crushed it.
Yeah, for sure. It was awesome.
Which is probably one of the few times I can say that I crushed a goal to that extent. And then, I don't know if you can see on the picture, my medal has, you probably can't see, there's a red ribbon. And after I had gotten my time, I saw it on the monitor, and I was so excited, and I took my phone out to call my husband, and just as I started to dial, I see on the ground a red ribbon, which is the sign of my first dog, Shadow. Just sitting there. Red ribbon was a sign. It's just randomly sitting there, attached to nothing. So I picked it up and tied it to my medal, and it's still on it now.
That's
so
awesome.
Anyhow, that's a really
story.
Fun story.
It is good. I did not crush that marathon, but that's
you
okay.
Were hurt. You were
I walked the whole thing. I had torn my ACL about 6 months prior, and I really kind of wanted it to be my comeback run, and it wasn't. Like, I started to run, and it hurt tremendously.
Time out. I'm going to interrupt you because that's ridiculous, because a comeback is coming back from some kind of injury. You did not finish.
I did finish. It just took a long time.
But you finished. Who can say that they tore their ACL and then runs a half marathon, or does a half marathon, run, walk, crawl, doesn't matter. You did it and you finished it. And
I did. I did walk. I walked the whole thing.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because there's people who surely can walk that distance who don't. So
yeah.
Doing it on a.
But I was very proud of you.
ACL was ridiculous.
Super proud of you that day. It was awesome. So
it was a great day.
It was the last time I did any type of running like that.
Me too.
I hung it up from there.
Days that I'm like, I should start running again, and then I laugh at myself.
I know.
Because that's
I did
insanity.
originally tear my ACL doing a Tough Mudder, so I,
one room to the other, I can't even walk anymore. So.
I know. Yeah. Boy, man, life has changed. In any case,
you did tear it on the
many adventures we've had. Right. And now we spent 8 minutes bantering on. What we wanted to talk about today is, I struggle to even talk about what we want to talk about, because I don't want, I don't want to come across in the wrong way. Like, I think I want to start with that. Lynn and I have always been a safe space, an inclusive space. You can, through both of our careers, Lynn as a counselor and me as an advisor, we have to hold that demeanor. We have to hold that position of, you can bring anything to us, wild and crazy, and you're not going to get a reaction. You're not going to
get judgment.
You're not going to get judgment. You're not going to get an emotional, like, I can't believe that. Like, you're not, I feel like, as a college advisor, and I'm sure you can go back to your times of counseling, I feel like I've heard it all. Like, I truly do feel like nothing really shocks me. I've heard so many different stories, so many different problems. And I always valued being that safe space. And I'm still that. I still see myself as that. Like, I still see myself as that safe space where people come and they do pour their hearts out in their sessions, and they share a lot of things with me. And I feel very fortunate that they feel safe like that, and that they do that. With that being said, I do feel like ignoring what's happening in our country and in our media it doesn't mean we are complacent with it, doesn't mean we agree with it, doesn't mean we disagree with it, and we kind of want to keep the politics out of it, but we do care about all of you, the people who come to us and who listen to us. And a lot of people have reached out to me for what, you know, what do I think? What do I see? What do my psychic abilities tell me is happening? And I don't always like to put that out there. I don't want to put up predictions out. You can find plenty of psychics who are doing that, right or wrong, and then that's fine. And I'm not going to tell you that I don't have visions, because I do, and I do share them with my inner circle, but I don't really share them publicly. But what we did want to talk about was the idea that what is happening right now, it seems very calculated. I can't say that I know, because I don't know, right? But it seems very calculated. It seems like a very calculated, deliberate release of information. It seems very bombarding, and is extremely overwhelming. And for someone who just told you that I've sat in cubicles and offices my whole life, and that I feel like I've heard it all, I would have said to you, I've heard it all until the past 2 weeks. And now I don't even think now we've heard it all. So that's terrifying,
I think
to me.
The idea of what we still could hear definitely
is going to like outshock what we've already heard.
Rattle the cages.
I don't
know. Is that
know.
even like the right term? I don't know, but I think it's going to like rattle some teeth.
Yeah, blow some socks off. I don't even know. That seems too mild.
Blow your top.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just anyway. The point, obviously, you get is that we do think there's probably more to come, and I think the bombardment in the media is going to continue. And I do think, we have a lot of conversations amongst ourselves, and I don't even know. Sorry, I have a bit of a cold, so my voice is funny, but I'm not even sure like what is AI and what is not AI, and we're Gen X. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, my kid can tell me how to do stuff on my computer. I don't have any idea. So I can't say I'm super savvy with looking at a picture or a video and being like, oh, that's AI generated. This is not AI generated. And that's, on me. But it makes everybody vulnerable. Like, I don't know what's real. I don't know what's true. I don't know if what is out there is true, if some of it's true, if none of it's true. I don't know. I have no idea. But the result, I think, the result, I think, is the same, in that it is this constant bombardment on ourselves. And I feel like it puts you in, well, it has for me, it's like almost like a weird numbing feeling where you're like, at first I'm like, what did I just read? Like, what is this? Like, is this for real? And you read it again and you're trying to process it, but it hits your whole system. It really does. It's just this overwhelm of your nervous system.
It is. And from what I understand, which is probably not a lot, by the way, that's an intentional thing, because when you overwhelm your nervous system, you are automatically put into a fight or flight situation.
Yes. And
there's a self-protection sort of idea that kind of like jumps in as well, and like you feel like you don't know like what to do. Like, you're anxious, you're a little shaky, you're confused, you're mad, you're all these emotions at the same time, and it's meant to just overwhelm you,
like kind of derail you. I don't just put you on edge, like condition you for the next thing to drop. Maybe. I'm not sure.
I think condition is probably a very good word. I think that it makes you feel and think things that maybe you wouldn't normally think or feel. It's so overwhelming. It makes you feel suspicious of everybody. Like, anybody could be
right
involved.
We can go into any conspiracy rabbit, right? Like, any conspiracy rabbit hole right now seems viable. It's just weird, and I think that it at the same time, it almost like conditions you to adjust your bar for the norm. Like, oh, well, this is the norm, so we just raise the bar, and then we get used to this being the norm, and then we have more shocking things that, I don't know, it's just more and more and more and more and more and more, and I think we all can see that from whatever side you're sitting on. So what do you do in all of this? Like, and it's up to each of us to decide how we're going to do it. But what I think has really been pivotal is how to live. How do you go to work every day and live your everyday life and interact with people? And because for a lot of us, it is affecting our individual worlds. And I don't want to discredit that in the least, for folks who have been very personally affected by it. But for the other people, as we're watching, I don't know what we're doing. it's like hard to go through your everyday life and see your clients and go to work and parent your kids and keep life like the normal that we always had or we knew or we appreciated
or just have created.
So it's like I feel like you kind of live in a duality, like a double life where you're like, oh, things are great, and I'm like, there's a dumpster fire behind me, but it's all good here. Like, it's not really even in control, but it's okay. Like, it's okay. I'm trying to placate yourself and like it's okay, or cajole yourself into I can do this, or rally another day, or whatever you're doing. And I feel like it's a weird place to be. It's like a weird, I thought COVID was like a weird place to be, and like this is like beyond that. Like I kind of miss COVID at this point. But now it's just like it's so unbelievable, and it's like all this movie playing in the back of your head, and here you are like still trying to pay your bills, still trying to live your life, still trying to figure it out, still trying to teach your kids good values and all these things, and then you're like, whew, I don't know, I just feel like a lot of overwhelm. And
while trying to look into the future and almost trying to predict like what
like do you plan or do you not? Right, we just talked
about summer plans. So we're planning to do something in the summer vacation wise.
Like do we want to travel? Should we travel? Are we gonna be and I know you might think like, oh, you're overreacting. Are we? Like, I don't, maybe we are, maybe we aren't. Maybe, I feel like my conclusion was we make plans and we adjust if we need to later, and that's just kind of how I'm going through it right now. But in all of this is meant to tell you, to explain that I think that we're all feeling this. I think we're all feeling this like state of angst and like weirdness and confusion and overwhelmed and trying to sort out, well, do I believe this or do I not believe this? Do I feel this way or do I not feel this way? Like, where do I land on these issues now? And is it okay to change my mind? And have I changed my mind? Or is this not what I thought it was going to be? And there's a lot of questions, right? And there's a lot of people defending themselves in their positions. There's a lot of people, feeling like I told you so. And it doesn't, the point of all of that is to say, like, be mindful of how you're taking it all in and understand that these emotions that you're feeling are traumatizing. And it sounds like, oh, that's so dramatic. It's not. Like, watching all of these things unfold and being bombarded with these images and these ideas and these concepts, it's going to rock everybody's world. So what do you do in all of this? And we want to tell you that it's still important to be mindful and take care of yourself.
Yeah, taking care of yourself. I mean, if you don't take care, this is even true on an average day, which I think we've well surpassed, but taking care of yourself is going to be the only thing that's going to bring you to the next day. I mean, if you don't take care of yourself, you're just, eventually you fall apart, and I guess that's it. But
I know it's hard to put the phone down, turn the news off, but sometimes you just have to. Even if you make a pact with yourself, like, I'm not looking at it tonight, I'm not looking at it before bed, I'm not looking at it for the next day. And it's all going to be there. Trust me, when you go back on, you can catch up pretty quick. But just giving yourself that mental space to relax your nervous system, doing something where you're not being bombarded. So whether you're into meditation or you're into working out or yoga or journaling,
doing a puzzle, anything that's going to
doing a puzzle, like
bring
doing
your attention to something.
Coloring, watching a movie that you've loved forever, like something on reruns or repeat, that just because it's comforting to you, because it's familiar.
It does, and it helps regulate something that you already know the outcome of. Helps regulate your nervous system.
Yeah.
So you don't need to, like, I watch the show Friends. I could, watch it for the rest of my life.
Keep watching it, right? We know the end. You know what's happening.
I already know what's going to happen.
You know the next line.
Lines, but I'm still watching. And when I watch it, I'm watching it. Like, I'm not even necessarily just have it on the background. I'm literally watching it as if I don't know what's going to happen. But there's no surprise. And, like, my nervous system, I feel kind of calm watching it. There's no anxiety. Like, there's nothing to think about because I already know.
Right.
So if you can do that for yourself as well.
Yeah, read a book, go to the library, go to a park, connect with nature. Schedule yourself a massage, go get a pedicure, like, do something that it feels familiar to you, do something that is an intentional break in all of this bombardment that's coming through. And one of the things that we do a lot of, which I love, has become an integral part of our work is shadow work. And, you know, people don't understand what that is. It's not meant to be scary. I mean, trust me, like, we've seen scary, and I doubt what you're going to reveal in your shadow work is that scary. Maybe it is. I mean, I can't discount your life, but what shadow work is really meant to do is to look inward and to help you process what is going on. And like, you know, you hear what's going on, and it really, I think now more than ever, starts to really question your belief systems. Like, what do you believe? Are you just accepting everything that's coming through? Because I don't think most of us are accepting it. There's some line of like, oh no, like that's not right. So really, really challenging your belief systems, really challenging your thoughts on systems and processes and culture in general. And that is very okay at this moment. And it's okay to be having these thoughts and journal about them. But what we do in shadow work is we kind of dive into them, and we try to say, like, all right, what do you really think about this? Like, do you believe that because you were raised that way, because you were culturally taught that way, because the media told you to be that way, or because you believe that? So much of what we have been taught and we do on a daily basis is because it's learned behavior. Mm-hmm. We do it automatically. We have these thoughts automatically. Like, we follow the same plan every holiday. We follow the same plan, I don't know, every school year, you know, like it's always, you know, it's the same. And we find comfort in the same, right? Because it's familiar. Mm-hmm. But sometimes the same and the familiar is not working for you. And that's okay. And it's okay to decide, and we call it, you know, unlearning, to unlearn these things and to really dive in and decide, like, what do I actually think? Have I taken the time to figure it out? And we're not asking you to share it with a group. You just share it with yourself. But it really impacts your life and really digs into your spiritual self. And, you know, it gets you in touch with your purpose, your soul purpose, why you're here, what you're contributing, what you're bringing to the world, and your community and everything else. So, and
in doing some of this work, you actually can sometimes find like a relief, a lessening of anxiety. We're talking about bringing your nervous system back down to like a comfortable level. Because if you're not feeling comfortable all the time, I mean, yes, we have all these outside influences and stuff like that, but if there's something that you haven't really like discovered about yourself, like, and you're kind of like living with a like imbalance.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel great from the inside, and you might not know why. So this is a great way to kind of see if how you feel and how you want to live your life resonates with what actually is happening.
Yeah. Like in January, we did a 31-day shadow work group where we posed a different question every day. That was really fun. And it wasn't, you know, the questions weren't meant to be like laborious and like, oh, I'm spending hours figuring this out. But it's like, you know, if you're going, what are your thoughts on resolutions? Just simple as that. Like, what do you think about them? Yeah. Or how do you feel about money? Or, and you know, and at first you might have like a real quick answer, and then you're like, well, but
I think in that quick answer, right, where you're like kind of a knee-jerk reaction, like, right, you start to figure out like,
that's not what I think.
That's actually not like what I really think, you know, like if you're talking about resolutions, you know, kind of like, you know, someone says, what do you think about resolutions? My first internal thought when you said that was kind of like,
right,
you know, because I'm like, I have to do one of these.
Yep.
Do you hear what I said? Have to do one of these.
Have to do it.
I don't have to do anything.
No.
So, no, I do not have to make a resolution. And in fact, I probably do not.
Yeah, but, you know, like what emotion goes with Monday? You know, questions like that really kind of get you thinking about like, oh, like what is your greatest achievement? The hardest question I think that we posed in the month was to write yourself a 5-star review. I feel like people really stumbled on that one, and it was meant intentionally to make you think.
Yeah.
You know, but if you had to write yourself a 5-star review, what would you say about yourself, and how do you feel about it? And man, people really struggle to pump themselves up, to talk about themselves. And these are all wonderful people in these groups, you know, who I could easily write you a 5-star review and you could write me one, but write it for yourself. Oh my gosh.
I'd give you 6 stars.
Oh, well, thanks. Thank you. Thank you very much. Of course, my kid who doesn't understand the scale, he's always like, oh, I love this. I give it a 1 out of 10. And I was like, well, that's not a good rating.
It's like my shirt that I got for Christmas.
It's funny.
Well, that's not
a good sign.
It's not even related, but remind me of it.
You know, so it's really interesting when so there's a lot of books out there. You can go on Amazon and you can find about shadow work or getting to know yourself better, or however you want to phrase it. But in the current climate that we're in, it's a really, not to add to your plate, but it is really an ideal time, if you need help processing these things, to start to figure out, you know, what you think and find balance in yourself. Do some of these types of activities. We're going to have another really fun shadow work group in March where we're going to do questions every week. And this time we're going to use Oracle cards, which is fun. We've never done this before.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice one. Oracle cards, it's universal guidance. So it's what, you know, maybe the group needs to know as a whole, or maybe there's individual questions, and then the Oracle card, we're gonna tie into that, or, you know. So
yeah, we'll pull card, like when you're kind of like, I don't know where I am, we'll pull some cards and get some support, so you can see like, well, this is what the universe, where it's guiding you, this is what your higher self is telling you, and how does that fit into the question and you understanding more about yourself. So anyway, it's something to check out. It's just obviously one way to cope with what's going on. Obviously we've listed a lot more, but I think that what we're trying to do is call out that we're not all okay. Like and that's okay that we're not okay. And it's okay to take care of yourself. You don't have to feel guilty about taking care of yourself. And as we're going through these times, I'll call them, I don't even know what to call this. You know, and it's okay to not be okay. But you don't have to feel guilty, like I said, about repeating that, because I don't know if I really made my point, but I think I did. You know, don't feel guilty.
I understand your point.
Yeah. You know, you don't have to feel guilty about it. You don't have to feel guilty about like, oh my gosh, I'm taking time out to balance myself, to center myself. Like your own individual world is still spinning. Your own reality is still going on. You're still trying to meet all the demands that you always had been, with a lot of extra pressure. So take that time for yourself. Take the time to center yourself, balance yourself. Ask the hard questions of yourself, of things around you, and it's a learning process, I think, for everybody. Oh, anything else?
No, not really. I mean, just take care of yourselves, take care of each other.
If we can help in any way, reach out.
Yeah.
We have lots of services, we have lots of things, lots of ways to do this, and we are more than excited and happy to consult with you and explain to you, you know, what might work great for you, you know, in a no judgment zone.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what you think or where you land. So we're here. Okay. All right. I think that's it for today. All right. Adios. Have a good one.
Cheers.
Cheers.